Derby County come out of their pre-season tie with Solihull Moors as 4-2 victors. Derby County ran rampant in this game, but screamers from Solihull Moors put them ahead twice on the night. It was a very good evening for Derby County, though. We started off with a lineup of Zetterstrom in goal, a back four of Turley, Rooney, Batth and Fozzie, a midfield three of Thompson, Kenzo and Ebou Adams, with a front three of Jackson, Corey Blackett-Taylor and Carlton Morris. It was the first time we've seen Ryan Nyambe, Joe Ward and Andreas Weimann, with the likes of Banks, Go, Hodges, Osande and Ebuka all getting another set of bench opportunities. Obviously tonight, Ben Osborne, Kmar Roof, Matt Clark and Owen Beck, as well as Callum Older, were all missing. Not sure on everyone, but a lot of it is just protecting them for the start of the season. And there's some big eyes on the futures of Andy Weimann, Joe Ward and Ryan Nyambe as we head into the start of the season. I'm going to get into it in this video right now, so if you have not done so already, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, but let's get into it. Do you want to win yourself the brand new Derby County 2025-26 home shirt? Well, I'm here to give you an opportunity to do that. There will be a link down in the description where you can head on over to raffle.com to join a raffle where you can win the Derby County home shirt. Ticket prices start at just £1 with a range of different discounts available. You can buy 2 tickets, get 2 free, 5 tickets, get 5 free, 10 tickets, get 10 free, and 15 tickets to get 15 free. The intention with this is to give you guys the opportunity to win a Derby County shirt for less than the valued cost in the shop. So if you haven't done so already, head on down to the description, click on the link in the description, which will take you over to raffle.com. Create yourself an account, answer the question and join this raffle. The winner will be announced on August 1st at 6 p.m. as the transfer window begins to draw to a close. So if you haven't done so already, head on over there and get your tickets. Now, obviously, if we look back at the starting 11, it's a very interesting one. Now, obviously, at the weekend, we saw Matt Clark come off with an injury after just a few minutes and was not involved at all tonight, which is a very interesting one. Now, it is being said by Lee Curtis and obviously that of BBC Radio Derby that they're just protecting those players and there's no need to risk them in these sort of games, and I do completely agree with that. But I think there's definitely a situation right now where the likes of Freddie Turley and Jake Rooney are being prepared to potentially start that opening game of the season. Now, if we do just discuss the first half, it was a very interesting half for me. I think obviously you had the screamer from Solihull Moors, both screamers actually. One, what was it, after about 15-20 minutes, and then you had another one not long after we'd scored. But it was a very good half. Now, I think Kenzo Goudmijn and Liam Thompson have had their best games of football in pre-season so far. I think Ebou Adams was very impressive, as we've come to expect. I think Carlton Morris, you can tell he's not quite match fit, but ultimately had some really good moments and got himself into some really good positions. Yet, again, though, we've got Corey Blackett-Taylor putting in a superb performance in pre-season. I think it's a goal and an assist tonight, which is absolutely outrageous. An assist from Kenzo Goudmijn as well for Danny Batth scoring his first goal in Derby County colours just before half-time. Corey Blackett-Taylor could have had 2 or 3 tonight as well, and Carlton Morris could have had 1. I think Ebou Adams had another chance as well, so he could have had 2, because Ebou Adams scored the first goal, which came from Corey Blackett-Taylor beating his man and putting a ball into the back post. Now, obviously, when we look at sort of the players that were involved today and the players that came off the bench, obviously it was really good to see the likes of Ryan Nyambe, Joe Ward and Andreas Weimann getting their opportunities. I believe they played about half an hour each. Ryan Nyambe obviously been out for a really long time and finding his way back into first team football now. We wasn't expecting to see him until after the opening weekend of the season, so this is a real good recovery for him. Obviously, not to put too much pressure, but we currently don't have a fit senior right back unless Jake Rooney slots across. Joe Ward came on the left hand side. Thought he played really well, to be honest with you. Now obviously is towards the back end of the game. Solihull Moors has made some changes as well, and it was one of those where the game was definitely opening up. But I think you can't complain. It was a very good performance for me from Ward. Andreas Weimann showing exactly what he's capable of as well, getting himself into some really good positions to pick up the ball, doing some really nice stuff with the ball as well, but ultimately not quite having those finishing touches. But in my opinion, that will obviously come. Now, obviously, I've spoke about the players who missed out, the likes of Osborne, Roof, Clark, Owen Beck, and Callum Elder. I believe with Beck, Elder and Clark, it's just minor issues. They're just protecting them. Obviously, Ben Osborne, not entirely sure. Haven't actually seen anything mentioned about him. Could there be a move out on the cards? I'm not entirely sure. And Kmar Roof, we've not seen since Salzburg, maybe. So it's one of those where he maybe won't be getting a contract like I did expect to happen, if I'm completely honest. Now, there is a few names from that list of players who I've mentioned who you may be wondering where they are. Obviously, the likes of Josh Vickers, Dejan Brown, Lennon Wilden, Harry Hawkins and Isaac Gordon weren't involved tonight. They played in a friendly earlier on today for another Derby County 11, which faced up against Scunthorpe United at Moor Farm Training Ground. Now, if we sort of go through the game, as I've said already, I think Kenzo and Tomo had their best pre-season game. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that I want to start the season with them two as the sitting midfielders. Obviously now, especially with the introduction of David Ozo, but at the moment, they're doing very, very well. And I think Ebou Adams has done well as well. And I did put out a tweet with about, I'm not sure how long of the game there was left to go, probably about 25 minutes, that in my opinion Jake Rooney has to start on the opening day. In my opinion, I think he's earned it and I think he deserves it. Across the course of this pre-season, it's sort of been a roll of the dice essentially of who gets the highest number between the likes of Rooney, Gordon and Freddie Turley for that potential start at right back on the opening day of the season. Now, if Niambi is fit, Rooney probably isn't going to get that opportunity, but I genuinely believe that Rooney has earned it and I think he deserves it. I think if we look at his performance tonight, I think he was mega impressive. I think if you look at his performance across pre-season, I think he's not put a foot wrong. And I think realistically, he's very, very good technically. He's very, very good at reading the game and he seems to understand what to do, whether he's playing at centre-back, whether he's playing at right-back. And in my personal opinion, I think he could play as a number 8 or a number 6 in midfield as well, which would obviously be really sort of interesting to sort of see how it goes. Now, obviously, as we headed into the second half, Carlton Morris came off for Charles Ebuka, another player who's putting himself right in the front of John Eustace's mind heading into that opening game of the season, because I think he's scored 2 goals in pre-season now. He's not looked out of place at all, and there's got to be a massive discussion about him because at the moment he's currently just on his scholarship deal, which means he could leave Derby County at the end of this year on a compensation package, and that is it. Now, we've essentially got to make sure that he sees a pathway to the first team and sees potential opportunities. Yes, we've spent God knows how much on Carlton Morris. We've spent, 6 or 7 million on that of Patrick Agyemang as well. You've got Lars Jørgen Selverson in the building, who I think we spent £1 million on back in January, if I remember rightly. And if I'm completely honest, I believe that Charles Ebuka has shown the most out of all of them. Obviously, Agyemang yet to touch the field. Morris has only played, what we on now? 85 minutes maybe. But it's one of those for me where I certainly believe that Charles Ebuka has been absolutely unreal. And if Dejan Brown isn't lucky, that spot which realistically is waiting for him to grab could disappear into the hands of Charles Ebuka. Now, it is going to be interesting to see how it develops. Obviously, missing Selverson for the start of the season. Dejan Brown obviously back today with his first minutes of pre-season, but it's one of those for me where it's definitely a very, very interesting situation. Derby County certainly need to get Ebuka down on professional terms, which as of right now, I don't believe he's signed. I went back to the academy retained list and that mentioned nothing about him signing a professional contract, just that he was heading into the second year of his scholarship. Now, I did put together my starting 11 plus bench from today's game. Not from today's game, for the opening day as of right now. I'll put it on screen for you, but I've gone with Zetterstrom in goal, a back four of Rooney, Batth, Clark and Forsyth, a midfield three of Thompson, Kenzo and Adams, and a front three of Jackson, Blackett-Taylor and Morris, with a bench of Vickers, Turley, Niambi, Fozzie, Ozo, Ward, Vyman, Ebuka and Dejan Brown. Now, obviously, depending on fitness, I put this in my tweet over on Twitter as well. I would swap on Thompson with David Ozo. I think David Ozo will most likely start opening day of the season, but we've got to obviously wait and see what is going on fitness-wise with him, because obviously at the moment we don't really have sort of a true picture. We've not actually seen him play, although I do believe he's been fully involved with Crystal Palace across the course of pre-season so far, so he shouldn't be too far away, if anyway away at all. So we'll obviously have to wait and see for that one on Saturday. I believe there's another group of Derby players playing on Friday evening, which will obviously be very, very interesting to keep a look on. But tonight, unbelievable performance in the terms of we're finally starting to see patterns of play. I think we're starting to see a proper sort of run of Derby County performances, and I think it is a very, very good bounce back from Burton Albion, which I know a lot of people didn't like the use of the term bounce back for a pre-season friendly, but ultimately, in my opinion, you win or you lose, it hurts no matter whether it's pre-season or the main games. Like, that's my opinion. I've always been the same. I've always felt like that. Yes, you can give the first couple of games of pre-season down to minutes and things like that, but against Burton Albion, we pretty much prayed what was our strongest 11 available based on fitness levels and things like that, and I don't necessarily think the performance matched what it should have, but we're going to have to wait and see how things change over the course of the next few weeks. Now, obviously, if you have not done so already, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, let me know your thoughts down in the comments, turn on that notification bell, and I'll catch you in my next video tomorrow morning. Do you want to win yourself the brand new Derby County 2025-26 home shirt? Well, I'm here to give you an opportunity to do that. There will be a link down in the description where you can head on over to raffle.com to join a raffle where you can win the Derby County home shirt. Ticket prices start at just £1 with a range of different discounts available. You can buy 2 tickets, get 2 free, 5 tickets, get 5 free, 10 tickets, get 10 free, and 15 tickets to get 15 free. The intention with this is to give you guys the opportunity to win a Derby County shirt for less than the valued cost in the shop. So if you haven't done so already, head on down to the description, click on the link in the description, which will take you over to raffle.com, create yourself an account, answer the question, and join this raffle. The winner will be announced on August 1st at 6 p.m. as the transfer window begins to draw to a close. So if you haven't done so already, head on over there and get your tickets.